I got $1,200 a year in benefits. Maybe it can help you.
An update to a story we brought you last week. An arrest has been made after a wave of vandalism left several headstones damaged at a Cookeville cemetery. Nearly 32 headstones were damaged in the vandalism, according to city officials. Police say a juvenile was identified as the suspect. The juvenile was visiting a parent living near the cemetery when the vandalism occurred. The juvenile admitted to the damage, according to authorities. Will Dunley, Access Tennessee News.
This is CBS Rewind.
August 7th.
You know what he keeps telling me?
1941.
He keeps telling me I'm dead.
The release of the comedy.
I'm afraid you are. What?
Here Comes Mr. Jordan.
Dead.
It was remade twice.
Mr. Pendleton, you know where you are, don't you?
As Heaven Can Wait with Warren Beatty.
I'm not supposed to be here.
And Down to Earth.
We got a new slogan.
Starring Chris Rock.
Shot in the head, you get a bed. If your head is bloody, we're your buddy.
August 7th, 1992.
I ain't like that anymore, kid.
The nationwide release of the Western Unforgiven.
Say what?
Starring Clint Eastwood.
Just because we're going on this killing, that don't mean I'm going to go back to being the way I was.
I'm Brendan Brooks.
Do not like assassins or men of low character.
And that's Rewind.
Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Progressive can help you protect your home, auto, boat, motorcycle, ATV, and RV, and more. And if something wasn't mentioned that you had in mind, find out if it can be covered at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, because it probably can be.
We're the Good Neighbor Network, FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, audio and video streaming at wgnsradio.com. This is Rutherford Issues, hitting right at what matters most to all of us here in the heart of Tennessee. From Murfreesboro to Smyrna, Eagleville to Laverne, Leanna to Barfield, and everywhere in between. If it matters to you, you'll hear about it in the next hour here on Rutherford Issues. Now your host, Brian Barrett.
Well, hey, hi, and hello there, fun lovers and truth seekers. Welcome in to Rutherford Issues here on a beautiful Thursday. So happy that you have decided to join in on the program. Got a lot of news and information to get to today as we come to you from the Middle Tennessee Electric Studios and Rutherford Issues, powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. I want to remind you about the virtual annual meeting. They have it every year, right? Annual meeting. Annual meeting, yes. It's virtual. Saturday, August the 16th, 2 p.m., and I had someone ask me about the virtual part of that and why virtual and whatnot. It's one of those things where they've had more participation with it being virtual than they had with an in-person event, and feels like that it can reach more people this way. So they've been honing in on that for the last few years, and it's worked out beautifully. So how do you participate? Well, if you will register, you register and say, I'm going to be participating. I'm going to watch, hear the information. You can be entered for prizes. Some great prizes, by the way. Also, you can submit questions ahead of time that will be answered during a Q&A session, and also vote for officers for the co-op. You can do that starting Saturday by phone or at Middle Tennessee Electric. So MTE has offices in several of the counties, but here in Rutherford County out on New Salem. So you can register, submit questions, and vote for officers in person at MTE or by phone. So if you want to find out more about the virtual annual meeting on August the 16th, mte.com/annual meeting. That's where you can find all the info there, right? Want to mention today's Good Neighbor of the Day first. Chloe Burns was nominated as the Good Neighbor of the Day for being a true go-getter, full of energy, always lifting up others, inspiring everyone around her with her drive and positivity. Chloe Burns today, the recipient of flowers from Ryan Flowers, Coffee and Gifts, along with your Good Neighbor friends here at News Radio WGNS. So congratulations, Chloe. Enjoy the flowers. They're beautiful. You'll say, man, these are the best flowers I've ever gotten. You will. you're going to find that they're going to be a centerpiece for you to say, yeah, I was nominated Good Neighbor of the Day for weeks to come. Okay? So enjoy the flowers. Enjoy the recognition as our Good Neighbor of the Day. How do you recognize someone as Good Neighbor of the Day? Very easy. It's a very, very easy process. I guess it would be very easily, right? But anyway, my brain sometimes corrects myself or corrects me. See, it did it again. Text the word neighbor to 615-893-1450. That's all you have to do. You'll get a reply on your phone, and then it will say, thanks, some other words, Good Neighbor of the Day. Click this link. Click the link. It's going to take you to our website on a web form, as it's called. You fill out all the information, you click the submit button, and you are done. Dunzo. That's it. wgnsradio.com/good neighbor will get you there as well. We need the name, address, phone number, and a sentence why. Now, when you get the text and tap on that link, if you'll save that link into your phone's web browser, you've always got that to go back to, right? And not only can you nominate more than one person, when it happens in the moment, you're thinking, Good Neighbor of the Day. That would be that so-and-so just did something very nice. Let us know. We'll make them the Good Neighbor of the Day. Help us out with that. And our thanks to our friends at Ryan Flowers Coffee and Gifts. You didn't know you were going to have homework when you came in to listen, right? It's truly a great way to recognize people who just do very special things. So Ryan Flowers has been helping us for well over 40 years, probably close to 50, if not more, with the Good Neighbor of the Day. So we thank our friends at Ryan Flowers Coffee and Gifts. They're at 117 South Academy Street. Also, today, it's our birthday club, and let's see, Kamari Honeycutt. There we go. Kamari Honeycutt is our birthday club winner, celebrating a birthday today. So happy, Kamari. And going to get to enjoy some banana pudding at Slick Pig Barbecue, 1920 East Main, where you can find our friends at Slick Pig.
Now, here's your Rutherford weather forecast.
Well, let's send you outside at Big G TV Studios. You can see the outdoors. 83 degrees here in our downtown studios, 84 degrees at the Murfreesboro Municipal Airport, and in Smyrna, we have 83 degrees at the Smyrna Airport. So, a little more of the same in the forecast, but we're going to start seeing a warm-up. Low 90s. We're going to have heat index readings now. In the next coming days, we're looking at maybe upper 90s, feels like. So, summer reminding us it's still around.
Well, Brian, it looks like we'll see sunny skies here for this afternoon with a high into the lower 90s. Winds out of the north around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Then for tonight, mostly clear with a low around 69. By Friday, sunshine, high of 91 degrees. Saturday, plenty of blue skies and sun, high of 92. Sunday, we'll have a slight chance for showers and thunderstorms here late. Blend of clouds and sunshine develops, high of 91. Monday, chance for storms, high of 91. I'm meteorologist Jennifer Wojcicki.
And a check of our Rutherford weather radar. Not much going on right here. Do have a few little showers out toward the Cumberland Plateau, and that's going to be more of the same. A little more activity in terms of pop-up showers and storms, but not really outlooked for anything other than general thunderstorms. So it's your typical summertime weather forecast here. And again, you can check out our Rutherford weather, RutherfordWX.com. From there, links to all of the social platforms, YouTube, Facebook, X, Twitch, Kick, and Trovo, where you can stream Rutherford weather during impactful and severe weather. We'll have our weatherology meteorologist, storm specialist Ray Miller join. Local meteorologist Justin Bailey joins in, sometimes gives chase to what's going on in the county in terms of storms, bringing back some live video from that. All of our video cameras, weather radar. You can see it all at RutherfordWX.com. Be sure to like, subscribe, turn on notifications. That way you'll always be informed on the latest Rutherford weather.
Good day, Rutherford County. This is Lee Colvin, financial advisor and CFP with Edward Jones. Let's get the latest business news from our financial desk.
Stock markets opening higher today. Technology-heavy NASDAQ outpaced the S&P 500 and Dow Jones at the moment. This comes as the U.S. administration officially implemented its August 1st tariff rates globally. However, the administration has also granted a number of exemptions to tariffs, including companies like Apple, if the corporation builds manufacturing capacity in the U.S. A big announcement on that yesterday, as Apple will have a manufacturing facility built in neighboring Kentucky. Right now, the Dow is down 263 points, 43,929. The S&P is up 1.5 at 6346, and the NASDAQ ahead 118, 21,287. Let's see, 21,289 now.
From Wall Street to Church Street, that's the latest business news from the Edward Jones Financial Desk. I'm financial advisor and CFP Lee Colvin. Call 615.
Sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Steve Kathan. President Trump used social media to hail the new tariffs that have taken hold against dozens of countries as of today. CBS's Aaron Navarro at the White House.
The administration is projecting $300 billion in new revenue. That's up from the $77 billion collected from tariffs in 2024. That is money that goes to the Treasury and is, of course, worth watching on what the federal government does with that. They've talked about using that to pay down the national deficit, but President Trump has also said and entertained some sort of rebate check.
Well, CBS's Kelly O'Grady on the outlook for consumers.
Your Swiss chocolate is not going up immediately this morning because of these tariffs, because a lot of these companies have that inventory. Now, I will also note that if companies had ordered inventory before midnight tonight and it gets here before October 5th, they're not going to pay a tariff. So we expect a lot of companies did front load some of that ordering.
With secondary sanctions from the U.S. a possibility against Russia tomorrow, CBS's Ramy Inocencio reports there are indications of Vladimir Putin meeting with President Trump is taking shape.
President Putin has at least floated one possible country for that meeting to happen in the Middle East, and that is the United Arab Emirates.
The U.S. Army has honored 6 soldiers who helped end yesterday's shooting at Fort Stewart. First Sergeant Joshua Arnold was one of them.
We heard what sounded like gunshots. Immediately had medical services, combat medics, myself, and Sergeant Taylor respond. We rendered aid.
5 soldiers were wounded. An Army sergeant is in custody. United Airlines is working through the fallout today after hundreds of flights were grounded overnight due to a technical issue that the airline says has been resolved. CBS's Chris Van Cleve reports the Transportation Department's looking into it.
Secretary Duffy says he's been in touch with United CEO about this issue. United says it is not cybersecurity related. Delays and cancellations this morning largely have to do with planes that didn't make it to their final destination last night, so they had to cancel those first of the morning flights, including here in Indianapolis.
A new study from a group that backs tech regulation finds that ChatGPT told researchers posing as teens how to get alcohol and drugs, suggested how to hide eating disorders, even generated a suicide note. CBS's Jolene Kent.
The study found that with minimal pushing, like saying this research was being done for a project, the bot's guardrails were easily bypassed, and then ChatGPT would provide information that would otherwise violate OpenAI's content policy.
Wall Street, the Dow is down 200 points. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Paul's new drone startup just lost its most genius computer scientist.
We just lost our best genius to some new genius who's got a genius new idea. I'm going to have to find a new genius, or 2 half geniuses, and fast.
He needs a computer scientist that can keep his startup from falling down.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply. Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Groundbreaking.
Back in 1985, when Toots first opened, there were very few restaurants in this town. We've seen hundreds of them come and go, and yet we are still so blessed to be in business and be doing business here in Rutherford County.
This is Nick Hayes with Toots Restaurants. After 40 years, we still got them. $6.99 daily lunch specials. Stop by Toots.com and check them out.
Thank you for dining with us since 1985.
Thank you, Rutherford County.
Thank you for dining with us for 40 years.
I'm Betsy Maples with Maples Realty and Auction. Are you looking for the perfect blend of city conveniences and country charm? The Maples has it all and features homes from 5 quality local builders and has amenities including a pool, tennis and pickleball courts, basketball, and soccer areas. Schedule a tour with Maples Realty and Auction today. Call us at 615-896-4740 or visit the Maples of Murfreesboro.com.
Maples Realty and Auction.
From the Fox Sports Studios in Los Angeles, here's Monty Bolaños.
The Seattle Mariners held on 8-6 against the Chicago White Sox. Julio Rodriguez with a 3-run shot, while the Marlins avoided the sweep with a 6-4 win over the Astros. Seattle is now 2 games behind Houston in the AL West. Jose Iglesias hit the go-ahead RBI as the Padres pulled off the 9th-inning comeback, defeating the Diamondbacks 3-2, and the Dodgers lost 5-3 to the Cardinals at home, despite Shohei Ohtani hitting his 39th homer of the season. San Diego is now 2 games behind LA in the NL West. The Royals snapped the Red Sox 7-game winning streak, coming out on top 7-3, and the Brewers extended their winning streak to 6 after topping the Braves 5-4. The NFLPA sent a message to the players Wednesday night clarifying that the league's ban on smelling salts only applies to clubs providing it to players. Players can still smell salts as long as they bring their own.
2 powerful FM signals, 1 AM signal, and online at wgnsradio.com means that you can listen to us anywhere. AM, FM, online. This is News Radio WGNS, Prime Time Sports.
Sponsored by the law offices of John Day. Our expanded office location is on Medical Center Parkway, just across the street from the hospital. If you've been injured, call us for a free consultation at 867-9900.
All right, coming up, we've got a lot of local sports ahead. Our high school sports coverage, by the way, gets underway on the 16th. That is August 16th, not this Saturday, but the following. And that will be the first of the 32nd year of the Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner. Fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro, we'll have conversation with all the football coaches the week before their first game, which will be the 22nd. And that's when we begin our 78th season of bringing you high school sports. On the 21st, it's the first Primetime Sports Thursday show with Clark Blair, Rod Edwards, and Danny Brewer. 6 o'clock right after All Sports Talk every Thursday. And that's what we've got coming up on the local scene. And the Braves, well, Milwaukee series did not finish like we had wished for.
Now, it's time for your Atlanta Braves morning update.
Braves drop Game 3 to the Brewers 5-4. The Brew Crew sweeps the Braves in Truist Park. Spencer Strider gets the loss for the Braves. He went 4 2/3, gave up a career-high 11 hits, 5 earned runs, walked 1, and he struck out 6. He falls to 5-9 on the season. Michael Harris II did hit a 451-foot home run in the bottom of the 9th. That cut the lead to 5-4, but the Braves were not able to get it done. Jurickson Profar also with a solo shot in the game. Marlins come to town, first of a 5-game, 4-day series over at Truist Park. Yuri Perez going for the Fish. He's 4-3, has a 2.70 ERA, 51 strikeouts, 18 walks, and an 0.94 whip. Opponents just batting 166 against Perez. Carlos Carrasco going for the Braves. He's 2-2, has a 5.68 ERA, 30 strikeouts, 12 walks, and a 1.53 whip. For a leadoff show with myself and Chris Domino at 6, first pitch against the Marlins. Marlins, 7:15 Eastern, 6:15 Central on the Braves Radio Network.
Access Tennessee Sports. I'm Josh Copley. Per the Rocky Top Insider, Tennessee Volunteer football player Boo Carter returned to the practice field as a full participant on Tuesday following the controversies. The Vanderbilt men's basketball SEC schedule was released recently for the 2025-2026 season. Their first conference game will be against South Carolina on January 3rd, and their last will be against the Tennessee Volunteers on March 7th. The Tennessee men will open up their conference play on the road against Arkansas, also on January 3rd. Tennessee and Vanderbilt will play each other twice in the regular season, with the first matchup being on February 21st. There were some updates given regarding how the Tennessee Titans will be approaching the preseason. Last year, Coach Callahan played his starters for 2 out of the 3 preseason games. However, this year will look a little different. The Nashville Post reported that rookie starting quarterback Cam Ward, as well as other starters, will be participating in all 3 preseason matchups. The games will be against Tampa Bay, Atlanta, and Minnesota. I'm Josh Copley with Access Tennessee Sports.
The Doug Young Educator of the Month, presented by WGNS and City Tile and Floor Covering, honors Kenneth Honeycutt, a U.S. history teacher at Riverdale High School, who recalls his teachers always appearing to genuinely enjoy teaching.
Every time I thought back to what a potential career might look like, the one thing that I considered was that my teachers always seemed like they were having fun, and I get to wake up every day and do something that I love, and I really appreciate that.
Kenneth talks about what he looks forward to each day in the classroom.
Just see them grow over the course of the year, that look in their eye when they start to make connections about things that are happening in the real world or might be something that they're interested in. It always brings me a lot of joy.
And Kenneth hopes to continue his career at Riverdale.
I'm going to go ahead and call my shot. I want to eventually be an administrator at Riverdale High School. I love this building. It's where I graduated from. I'm so glad that I got to come back and work with some of my teachers.
Kenneth Honeycutt, U.S. history teacher at Riverdale, the Doug Young Educator of the Month, proudly sponsored by City Tile and Floor Covering on Spring Street. Know an outstanding teacher? Nominate them at wgnsradio.com.
FM 1019, FM 100.5, wgnsradio.com. The Good Neighbor Network.
Access Tennessee News, I'm Will Nunley. 6 children are recovering this morning after being injured in a school bus crash in Portland yesterday afternoon. It happened around 3 p.m. on Longview Road just after school let out for the day. Sumner County officials say 2 of the children were released to their parents. Meanwhile, 4 others were taken to local hospitals for minor injuries. The school bus was rear-ended on Longview Road in Portland. 2 people have been found dead in an apartment in Gibson County. The Trenton Police Department says police and fire personnel found a deceased woman and a deceased man in separate rooms. Investigators say there was no immediate evidence of foul play. However, the investigation is still in its early stages. Authorities are now awaiting a medical examiner's report. It's believed the pair were in a relationship, but their identities have not been released. More news in 30 seconds.
SRM Concrete. With every new day, every sunrise, we build structures that stand the test of time. And upon their foundations are our homes, where we work, where our kids go to school. And with that comes tremendous pride. We don't just make concrete. We build relationships, trust, confidence. We're SRM Concrete. Build with us.
United Airlines is working to get flights back on schedule this morning following a ground stop and delays overnight that affected flights nationwide. The airline says the issue stemmed from a weight and balancing computer system issue. If you're flying out of Nashville or any other regional airport served by United, make sure you check on flight status before you leave the house. Will Nunley, Access Tennessee News.
Here's Dr. Craig McCabe at McCabe Vision Center.
We now have good treatments for vision with cataract surgery, so now you can see well near, intermediate, and far distances without glasses.
Dr. Craig McCabe.
What we can do not only to make you see younger, but help you to look younger and get rid of sun damage and other problems to our skin.
McCabe Vision Center on Heritage Park Drive, just off Memorial, behind SunTrust Bank.
FM 1019, FM 100.5, WGNSradio.com. The Good Neighbor Network. Good Neighbor Events is brought to you by Old National Bank, the law offices of John Day, and AmeriCare Pest Control.
I've got pests, buzzing rodents running all through my house, ants chewing wood, and look, there's a mouse. I'm overrun with pests, but you're gonna be sure, safe and secure. It's the last rites for those pests. Call the best of the best to get rid of your pests.
893-7111. AmeriCare Services Incorporated. Call us today. 893-7111.
WGNS encourages you to shop local and patronize our local mom-and-pop businesses. You need to get your tickets now for the NAACP 2025 Freedom Fund Gala. It's at 6 o'clock in the evening on Saturday, September the 6th. And the NAACP Freedom Fund Gala will be at MTSU's Student Union Building. This is a black tie affair. Get in touch with the NAACP about the Freedom Fund Gala. The Red Cross is still critically low on blood. Phone the Red Cross at 800-RED-CROSS and make an appointment to give blood at a time that fits your schedule. And here's something that'll help you and local farmers. The Rutherford County Farmers Market. It's open every Tuesday and Friday from 7 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon. It's at the Lane Agri-Park, 316 John R. Rice Boulevard. And this is the 50th anniversary year for the Farmers Market. Our hats are off to the folks at the Agricultural Extension Service. Congratulations. And those are WGNS Good Neighbor events.
For 75 years, Murfreesboro Medical Clinic has been a cornerstone of health and compassion in our community. From our humble beginnings to the advanced, comprehensive care we offer today, our commitment to you has never wavered. With 8 locations across Murfreesboro and Middle Tennessee and over 100 physicians, we continue to provide the highest standard of care. Then, now, and always, your health is our mission.
Subscribe to Big G TV, local content that matters to Rutherford County. Rutherford Issues with Brian Barrett on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna. Listen and watch at wgnsradio.com.
And Rutherford Issues is powered by Middle Tennessee Electric. Don't forget their virtual annual meeting Saturday, August 16th, 2 o'clock. And you can begin this Saturday registering to say, I'm going to participate in the virtual meeting. You could win prizes if you do that. You can vote for officers, submit questions, all starting this Saturday. Find out more about the annual meeting, mte.com/annual meeting. Well, joined today by Roger Thomas. Good morning.
Good morning, Brian. How you doing, man?
Who is this guy you brought along with you?
I think he's got several names. What was that name he used a little earlier?
Oh, that one that we can't say on the radio?
Yeah.
Anonymous.
Yeah.
State Representative Eugene Mike Sparks.
McGillicuddy.
Do you know a McGillicuddy?
No, I don't. That's why I use it.
Okay.
Anyways.
Well, you may have several aliases out there. So, any truth to the rumor you're running for United States Senate?
No.
Okay.
No truth at all. I see Tim Burchett's threw something out there,
What about for the U.S. congressional seat?
District?
Yeah.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, Tim? Oh, no.
Not Tim. John Rose?
John Rose.
You're going to run for his seat and move out?
No, Johnny Garrett is running, and so is Van Hillary. Van Hillary's, I guess, John Rose's chief of staff.
Van Hillary?
Yeah, I mean,
coming back.
I don't know, man. It's, I mean, I know Johnny. Really, Johnny's just a very capable guy. Johnny's a great guy. He's an independent thinker, and he's willing to take a stand on his own, and not just do what somebody's telling him to do. So I like Johnny, and but a lot of folks running in that 7th district. The Democrats. I'm interested in how the Democrats. Who's going to win that? You got any predictions?
Van Hillary served from 1995 to 2003 in Tennessee's 4th congressional district. Yep. He was succeeded by John Rose, who is now going to run for governor.
Yeah, and John's, I don't really know Mr. Rose, but seems like a great guy, very capable guy. I'm partial to Marsha. She was up there on the air with us a few months ago. Roger got to talk to her, and, I had her. She was at my first political event when I ran for office, so I appreciate that. And then Glenn Jacobs was at our chili cook-off, been on the radio with us a couple times, and hope to have him back, hope to have both of them back sometime soon. And, we had Marsha at the Steak and Shake. They said it was the best event that she ever did. A lot of her campaign staff. She paid tribute to my friend Freddie Hahn that lost his life in Iraq, and Raymond Mitchell III, who was killed by a sniper in Iraq, young 21-year-old. So, those little things like that Marsha did in our community, it means a lot to me.
Van, by the way, I'm just really that was. In the early days of me working here. Yeah. So that's been 32 years ago when he was in Congress, and he ran for governor against Phil Bredesen. Yes. And barely lost that race for governor.
Well, it's like Roger was saying, I'm going to blame it on you. I mean, Phil Bredesen, he was a popular guy. He was a Democrat, but it's back when Democrats had common sense and had a fiscal responsibility and
he's doing
a lot of values.
And I think he's doing a podcast, isn't he, with Haslam?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever listened to it.
It's interesting because Bredesen is more of a middle of the road guy.
Yeah,
I mean
they're a business guy.
Yeah.
And an expert on healthcare, and so healthcare is a huge issue for almost all the 7 million Tennesseans that we have here. So,
and one area that Republicans really always seem to get knocked in the chin about.
Well, we need to improve. There's always room for improvement, Brian.
Well, how are you going to do that?
Well, one, to have a discussion, and I don't mean to get me on a tangent, nothing against Haslam, but, they tried to bump me off 10 years ago, spent $150,000 against me. And I'm a forgiving guy. I try to follow.
Really? You mentioned it like every time for the past 5 years.
It's post-traumatic stress disorder, trauma.
I don't hold a grudge, but
I mean, in all fairness, when you see inside baseball, I mean, and baseball, sports, and you see the sausage being made, and then you see people coming out here on a podcast, well, we're going to work together and it's room for disagreement. Well, all I did was ask for the Commissioner of Education to resign, to step down, but so did half the school superintendents across the state, and I also didn't like the JLL contract. I think it's corruption, and they probably didn't like me calling it out. But, JLL recommended tearing down the Cordell Hull building. Why would you recommend tearing down the Cordell Hull building? Why? To get paid to build it back. And, I guess they get mad at me, call them balls and strikes and just tell them the truth. But, really, you look at faith, and Roger and I talked about this. Roger lost his son a few years ago. The things that we go through in life and the battles that we have to overcome, the trials and tribulations, really build our character. And Christ talked about that. The Bible talks about that. Paul talked about it. Not that I'm not a big fan of Bill Haslam. He's okay. But, when you're a billionaire, you need to do all you can to help the 7 million Tennesseans that are having a hard time. Find solutions for affordable housing. Find solutions for health care. Don't go spend $1 million to try to bump off 10 lawmakers that use common sense to say this Commissioner of Education is clueless. He needs to go. And when you got half the school superintendents across the state of Tennessee, Brian, that sign a letter that this guy is he needs to go, I'm going to follow the lead of school superintendents. And anyways, I don't mean to get off on a tangent about that, but
you're not focused on that.
You hit a nerve.
And you let bygones be bygones.
I know, but Jesus help me.
That was a tender spot there.
I know, but really forgiveness is really the key to life. I've been married 36 years. My dad was married 5 times, and my dad couldn't let things go. He couldn't let them. Sometimes in life, we just got to move on and work with people whether it's local leaders or whether it's your wife or your spouse or your pastor or whoever else.
Felicia has to be a very patient, forgiving person, doesn't she?
I got a good wife, but I prayed about I begged the Lord when I was 19, bring me a good woman, and the Lord lined it up. I mean, he lined it up.
Anyway, I saw a Beacon poll that was out this morning
about Marcia.
Yeah, she's got a 52% lead over John Rose.
Do you believe in polls?
No.
Anyways, I like Marcia. I like John Rose too. He's just a likable guy, and likability matters in political races. I think Marcia, and I'm probably gonna get in trouble for saying this on radio, I think she's got to improve her likability. She lost my district, by the way. She lost my district, and so did Trump. So it's a miracle I'm even in office, especially saying what I say on the radio sometimes, because you do get people upset sometimes. But you look at the principles of our forefathers and what they stood for, and then you see the problems in our community. I mean, like Roger and I, housing. How are our kids going to find housing? Well, the jails are overcrowded. The fathers were broken homes. Some of these people need to start addressing those issues.
I was listening to the city held kind of a forum for the community at First Presbyterian on Monday, the city of Murfreesboro. And within that, they talked about affordable housing. And affordable housing, now get this number, it's considered $450,000.
Sad.
And less.
It's sad. Roger was telling me you built your house years ago for $69,000
in Blackman. Yeah, $69,000 now.
Wow.
When I moved back to Smyrna, I think I doubled it, I guess.
Yeah.
And
Also in that, I think it was Mayor McFarland said that if you took West Murfreesboro, Blackman, and it was its own city, it would be the 6th or 7th largest city in the state.
Wow. Really? I think his anniversary today. Congratulations, Shane, on your anniversary, by the way.
But isn't that interesting that, that area saw an explosive growth. Smyrna's seeing explosive growth.
We'll end up getting a new House member in the next redistricting.
Yeah. How we all gerrymander that. That's a big word.
You got to go there, Brian, and be a Debbie Downer. Why do you have to bring that up?
You think
that happens?
Do I think it happens? Yeah, you can see it happen.
My district looks pretty good.
Wait a minute.
Mine looks like the yellow page where you do your finger. No, that's another district. That's another one. No, mine looks like two fingers like sticking out. Sometimes people make fun of it. If you pull up the map, you can imagine what you think it is. Some people, perverted people, say different things, but it looks like the bell. Remember the old Bell South book, telephone book? Your fingers walking.
I don't know.
Anyways, let your fingers do the walk.
Yeah, to me that's what it reminds me of. But anyways,
no, it's been in the news about Texas and what's happening there.
It's comical in a way. Well, it's sad but comical.
Yeah, I think the biggest gripe that I have is that it is the second time that they've done it since the census.
Yeah, look at Illinois though,
and they've done it. Well, I mean, I know that.
Yeah,
but Tennessee's gerrymandered.
Well,
Nashville's broken up into 3 different districts. So, I mean, my point about that is, I think the biggest gripe is that it's happened already after the 2020 census, and this is the second time.
Okay, yeah.
I think that's the biggest concern out of all that.
Well, you shouldn't leave the state and go to Illinois. I mean, that's derelict of duty. No, I mean, I'm not going to go like California, and whine about it. Just do your job. I mean, there's times I don't like voting on stuff, and you may think it's like I called that one bill the ugliest bill I've ever seen. Ticked off a whole lot of people, and I'm glad they got ticked off because they're guilty of it. And it's a bad bill. The media's not going to tell you about it, but you get upset in politics. You don't always get what you want, and that was hard, man, back in the day. I remember Nancy Allen told me, she said, man, you got to learn to pick your battles. I was arguing with Truman Jones, and I said, but there's so many things they'd be fought for. Here I was younger and more energetic. And she said, yes, but you got to slow down and pick your battles. And that's true. You have to pick which ones. Can you really make a difference? Because you can't be Don Quixote and fighting everything. And it's just...
Have you told that to Justin Jones?
Well, I had told that to Justin because he asked me if I was going to vote to expel him. I was like, Justin, if you can't calm down, man, you keep violating all these rules, I'm going to be forced to. And I get along with Justin. I mean, some people don't get along with him, but I treat him with kindness. I treat him with respect. But what worries me as a leader in this community is where this nation's going. And if that don't break your heart, because people got to work together, and I see all these egos and personalities, and the Bible says pride comes before a fall. And if this country doesn't get rid of the pride and arrogance and egos, it worries me where this country's at. I mean, do you feel that way? You got grandkids.
Oh, yeah, and
Brian's got grandkids.
And great-grandkids.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I mean, just... well,
that's what I like about this show.
There's no middle
good neighbor station.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, everyone has opinions, but I think when you drill down to the local level, I like seeing what the city of Murfreesboro did. Had a forum, several hundred people came to the church, heard what's been going on. Their concerns were heard.
Who should organize that?
It was the city council, I think.
Oh, okay. Congratulations to them for doing that.
Yeah. They've done some various ones in the community, and Bill Shacklett spoke. I mean, you've got different political affiliations on the council,
and you can't help but like Bill. I mean, he's such a his sister's one that got me coming up here. It's her fault. Gloria.
Oh well, I'll have a talking with her. But
lashing.
But where else can you go? There was one person, I know who they are, and I won't mention who they are, but they live in the downtown area and we're concerned about the homeless. And they actually, they live here. They have a home in the downtown area. And, say it's not uncommon to see someone just defecate right in front of their house in the street.
Yeah.
And so that's a serious problem but just seeing everybody come together and talk about it, and it wasn't just a screaming match.
See, Nashville, it's hard to do that in Nashville when you've got people holding up KKK signs and cussing you, and that's hard to do. Some nasty people up there. I'm all about the First Amendment and let your voice be heard, but when you got people that are like literally almost spitting at you and cussing in front of little kids, people don't see the back because the media doesn't show you that part. They just show you a different. It's called agenda setting theory, by the way.
You've got a camera.
Oh, I have made the video, and I think you've seen the little spoof I did, and I think I played the Biscuit song with it. And I mean, it was.
Well, we don't need a spoof, but just show the video as you're walking out. Here's what I walk out to.
That's a good thing about a church setting. Is that most people, not all. It's a different world today now.
Sure.
That phone really ramps it up because some people want to be there. They want to be showing like, hey, look at me, and and being nasty. And that's what's sad. But most church settings, I mean, we had the town hall at my church, Parkway, about the mental health and opioid, and it was well attended, about 120 people. We had both school superintendents, elected officials there, and we had great discussion about solutions. And what come out of that meeting, by the way, because I had some that was kind of negative. You always got a Debbie Downer, and like, what good come out of that? Here's what come out of that meeting. I said to the late Linda Gilbert, and I like Linda, and 50-year educator, knew more about education than any lawmaker in the state of Tennessee. That's a fact. Anybody wants to debate it, they can debate it with me. But I asked her, I said, what's the silver bullet with this issue? What's the silver bullet talking about childhood behavior and the problems? She said, Mike, the behaviors of the 6 to 9 year olds are like something I've never seen before. They're disorderly, disruptive. She said, whereas the state is trying to help, a lot of times there's nowhere for those kids to go and be assessed. And she said, we need more counselors, more social workers, more therapists to try to reach these kids. That's not me saying it. I'm not an expert. That's Linda Gilbert, a 50-year educator who was a mentor for teachers, who was an instructor for teachers. And then people would maybe, we don't need that. And people that don't have a clue about education want to condemn it or want to be critical. But that's what her, and then she passed, 2-3 weeks later after she sent me that email. And Scott Broden did publish it about a year or two ago. And y'all have always, published that letter she sent me. But that's what came out of that discussion. Was that, and that passed, led to legislation, led to more funding. That letter, everybody in the General Assembly has heard that letter, by the way, at least on the House side, because I've shared it probably 5 to 6 times. So her memories lived on. She's still making a difference with that letter she sent me.
Yeah, very, and
there's a nice image of her on WGNS, by the way. With the microphone, Linda, she's a sweet lady.
So, no cell phones this year. You've made a lot of kids mad. The thing about it is Rutherford County was already doing a lot of those things. I heard Dr. Sullivan talk about that, and he said that's not going to be a huge change for us here. But there are some school districts it's all different, but I don't think it was a big change here.
I had one of your guys who was a young man that was a producer about 3 years ago. Good young, always wore the little ski hat. Even though Zach, love Zach. I asked Zach. We were talking about mental health. I said, "Man, what's the difference?"
You say he wore a ski mask, but it was
ski hat, toboggan, whatever it's called. I mean, I'm not going to wear a toboggan in the summertime. It's just, anyways. But I guess that's their thing. But I asked him. I said, "Man, let me ask you something." As a young man, I said, I see you, and I see a few other people your age. I said, why are you so different? And he said, you know what? And you know what he said? He said, I never got a smartphone until I turned 18. He said, these other people, I know those people. They got a smartphone when they're like 15. He said, I think the phone has affected how you look at life. I mean, I'll be over at Crunch Fitness, and those people don't even communicate with each other. And I had a guy said hello to me the other day, and which shocked me because most people don't even talk. Today, people don't really. It's different than when we were growing up. We had conversations and all, but that's something that young man told me that I think has a lot of truth to it.
Do you have a smartphone?
Yeah, I finally upgraded after you made fun of me for years. I went from that Android A32 to...
Well, the phone is only as smart as its user.
I like this, a bad boy, by the way. I zoomed in the other day, man. I almost got that Android, the one that does 100 zoom. Mm-hmm. And people are like, why do you need the 100 zoom? I thought it'd be neat.
Well, if you see something on the side of the road, like an old couch or something, you see what condition it's in, you're going to go back and pick it up.
Let's don't talk about free couches.
Okay.
Anyways,
or couches on the side of the road.
Yes.
Smyrna seems to be a nice place to do that.
I know. Well, I run legislation that now the judge can make you pick trash up, and it's a serious
$500 fine the guys I had to deal with.
Yeah, it's based on cubic feet now, and shout out to the county who's being very enforcing this a lot more.
So we had to buy a tape measure for every sheriff's deputy.
Got there, measure it. But it does say there's a nice couch in front of down the road from you at the Chicken Pike right there. Chicken Pike and Old Nashville Highway. Remember, that was about a year or two ago.
Yeah, but you just would have kept bringing it up. Let's go by there. It wasn't.
David Gammon finally went out there. He got tired of me posting on Facebook.
There was one on 24 for like a month and a half.
There was one on. There was what was that really nice recliner? What do they call Lazy Boys? And Charlie Baum, of all people, Dr. Charlie Baum. Charlie and I, our personalities are totally different. He's a great guy. I like him. And he brought up to T-Day. He said, Commissioner, there's this Lazy Boy recliner been sitting on Bell Road, I-24 for 2 months, and at the next, I think within hours it was gone. But I was like, yes, you go, Charlie. You tell it like it is.
You passed it you sit back there, sit out there, watch traffic in the median.
Some of the things you see on the side, there's a lot of mattresses on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Wonder why.
I think some of it flies out when people are
putting them on their little four-door Mazda.
If it's just one, but if you see that along with some other items, all of it. Yeah.
Well, then the county takes mattresses. That's what kills me. Why do people want to set mattresses on the side of the road when the county, the convenience center, will take them?
On that, maybe you don't have access to a truck or trailer, or somebody loans one and they go, it might be closed, and they get kind of ticked and maybe kick it off. Who knows?
Maybe that. We're seeing a lot more electronics that are being disposed of that way, and that's because there is a cost for that.
Yes, that is an issue. You're right.
Well, I guess we've solved just about everything we can today.
Yeah. Oh, shout out to Charles Moses at the Convenience Center. He sadly got hit, broke both legs over at Smyrna Weekly Lane Center. I always like Charles. He's my understanding he's at Stonecrest Hospital. It skinned him up.
Got hit. I've got 30 seconds.
You got hit at Weekly Lane.
Yeah, hey, we got the barbecue fest going on downtown Smyrna this week. You'll have a lot of vendors, live music, everything's free. So Saturday night from 6 to 9, come out and join us. You'll have a blast, and we thank you for showing up.
Where's it at now?
Downtown Smyrna at the Depot District.
Okay, very good. Mike talked too long. You know
I'm
how it is. Gosh. So leave me that information, and we'll be sure to share it. That's going to do it here for Rutherford Issues, here from WGNS today. Have a good one.
Subscribe to